Hello, welcome to my new video. Today I talk about Resident Evil on the PlayStation 4. Now this was based on the version of Resident Evil that was originally released on the Nintendo Gamecube in 2002. Subsequently it was launched on the Wii, the PC, PS3, obviously the PS4 because that's the version I'm playing here, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Now this was a remake of the 1996 game Resident Evil, which was launched on the PlayStation and Saturn and other console PC type things that was out in the day. But this is a completely revamped version of that game. Now, this is also, in my opinion, the definitive version of Resident Evil. Some may disagree, some may like the original 1996 version of it, but I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that this version represents the superior version of the game. It's got better graphics, it's got better lighting, the Spencer Mansion is a much larger place than it was in the original. There's more areas outside to explore. There's different puzzles, and some of the experiences are some of the experiences when you come across certain moments within the game are better realized. For example, there's a part where you go down and you have to deal with the sharks in the basement area. In the original game was a bit crappy really, because you just had to run away from them and then drain the water and that was it. Now even though it's a similar dynamic here, it's actually represented in a much better way. There's a bit more to do. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a bit more to do, and it just makes for a better gaming experience. Overall, it's just better representation of what it was, which is fair enough. I mean, this came out 6 years and on a more powerful console, but to me it's the definitive edition. So aside from the enhanced graphics, there are new enemies to contend with within the game, and again I'm not going to go into the spoiler territory for those people who may have played the original and want to play this, because it would spoil this not a surprise, I suppose, when some of them leap out at you, but you know, there's a lot of enemies that are the same, but there's new ones as well. There's new encounters that you'll have too, and there's more of the Resident Evil mythology, the story. There's more of that revealed in this version as well. You get to play as Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, who were the original two protagonists in the original game, but as you can see, the character model here of Chris, who I'm playing as here, has been refined and is a lot better. In the PlayStation version, I got a code which enabled me to download some outfits that the characters wore in later games, so I could play this actually with the same outfit that Chris is wearing, the same outfit that he's wearing in Resident Evil 5, for example. Now that was a code that came with the game. I'm not too sure whether that everybody can get hold of that code, but I'm sure you'd be able to download it anyway. One of the things that's missing from this, and it's a kind of thing that I'm a bit sad about in one respect, is the really bad full motion video, or very sort of the CD-ROM based video that was in the original is missing from the intro here. Remember the one with the really bad actors? Well, I say bad actors, they acted badly. It's a bit harsh to judge whether they're bad actors or not. I mean, they could have been part of the dev team for all I know. That's missing, and that the sort of cheesiness and the hokiness of all of that was one of the things that was part of the charm of the original Resident Evil, and that's not really found here. There is still some bad dialogue, but nothing that approaches the kind of bad dialogue levels of Jill Sandwich. they have attempted to sort of flesh out some of the story, and that's pretty bad. But it still kind of retains cheesiness, but it's not on the original 96 version levels of cheesiness, unfortunately. Gameplay mechanics wise, it is quite similar. But there are some improvements to combat. For example, you may have seen just in the previous scene there, you have like a melee knife that you can stab into the head of some of the zombies when they grab hold of you. Jill also has some kind of stun grenade that she puts in the mouth as well, that helps get them off you. Weapons are pretty much the same as they were. There are some which are slightly different, but as I say, the actual core mechanics of the game are the same. It's exploring the mansion, doing an awful lot of backtracking, and for some people that may prove to be off-putting, but I don't, because what this game has, and I think what a lot of games today have lost, is the backtracking actually adds to the familiarity that you have with the environment that you're playing in, and I think that gets lost on a lot of games that are constantly pushing you forward into new areas. With this game, you do get the mansion itself has a personality. People remember events that happen, they remember rooms, they remember puzzles. There's a lot of memorable things to be had because you spend so much of the game inside of this environment, whereas in other games it's just a transient experience within each environment. You're there for a few minutes or to do whatever you need to do, and then you move on and you never go back there. Whereas this game, you have to go back and forward. You find an area and it's like, I need to do something to move on. Let me go and explore and see if I can find a switch or find a puzzle item or just something that will help me progress. And so you become very familiar with the environment, and consequently that in itself becomes the character of the game. And that is an art that I think has been lost in a lot of games today, especially the large open world games. And you do tend to struggle to remember really cool parts of an open world game, because over time everything just kind of blurs into one, and that's the great strength of this. Now, a lot of the back and forth, because make the point in this that the magic boxes are back in this one. Now, for those of you who don't know what I mean, you need to store items in a storage crate or box in this game. Now, in Resident Evil 0, if you watch the video that I put up previously, the Resident Evil video I put up previously to this one, that wasn't me playing through Resident Evil 7, you will see in that there was the ability to just drop items on the floor. You didn't have the magic box, you could just drop items everywhere, and that did mean you didn't have to do as much backtracking as you do in this game. I prefer the newer method, I think. I mean, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but it can get a little bit frustrating having to traipse back through multiple rooms to pick up one item out of a crate because you couldn't carry it and then take it to the next place. That can be annoying. I guess it's not so much annoying if you were used to it because you played the game originally, but I can see for some people that may be an issue. More newer gamers, that may be an issue. But for me, it's not a giant problem. So overall, what do I think of this? I think this is the definitive version of Resident Evil. I absolutely love this game. I played through it twice, back to back. First time through as Chris, then as Jill, and enjoyed it immensely. There is subtle differences in the story between the two characters, a la Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2. I'll get there at the end. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think this is a great game. It's great value, part of the Resident Evil Origins HD collection, and for me, it's well worth checking out. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more to come.